Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Rayge, and we are back today to go through some more Spotlight 2 Prologue. Now we're working on difficulty 2, which is the highest level here. And remember, with this one, we still don't have Hercules added yet, but with the Prologue, you don't need him to actually go through it. So, in today's video, we're going to be going through all the nodes, respectively, for the UNCANNY Avengers. This is the newest team that's been added in terms of being required for raids, as you can see here. And this is the lowest difficulty that, this is the lowest investment that I've been able to take advantage of to get all 3 nodes done. I have the majority of the gameplay to show you guys, so that way if you're wondering about the turn order and what the overall strategy is, hopefully that helps you. Obviously, be mindful of the fact that you're going to need these characters at pretty high levels, but the good news is that you won't need them at gear tier 19. If you do have them at gear tier 19, it's likely going to make it easier, just because you'll see that I've had to revive a couple of times as well to go through all 3 nodes. And again, maybe I'm playing it wrong, but at least this shows you what the investment's gonna be like. So this is Beast and all his T4s. As you can see, very, very close to the gear tier 19, but I didn't want to pull the trigger on that just yet if you don't need to. We got Storm here, very, very important for damage. You'll see that she's a big difference maker. Falcon does a ton of damage, and then the only gear tier 19 character I have is Jean Grey. So with that being said, guys, let's get right to it, into the gameplay. So this first node is not too bad. You'll need to aim for a couple key targets. Sometimes that black cat can actually shut down, but thankfully we have the immunity and the safeguard. So I started things actually targeting the Ghost Rider Robbie Reyes, just because they do a lot of damage. So I think starting with them is a kind of a safe bet. So Jean Grey obviously starting things there. The enemy Robbie is likely going to get the turn. Now what I do recommend, guys, is using Falcon's ultimate at the very beginning, because he does a lot of damage, and you kind of want to take down this first wave as soon as you can, especially given the type of attacks that are against our team. As you can see, even though my Jean Grey is gear tier 19, you can see they still hit really, really hard. So I go ahead, I actually target the Gwenum there, just because that way she can't get her turn and obviously generate energy for herself. And yeah, this is kind of the turn order that worked for myself. And then next turn, you will have a chance to use Jean Grey's ultimate. And to be honest, maybe I should have started with her ultimate. Maybe that would have made more sense to use an AoE back to back with Falcon. But now you actually do have the opportunity here with Storm using her ult. You know, thinking back to it now, you should be like, as I was progressing through these nodes, I was obviously learning from my mistakes and seeing the patterns. But Storm's ultimate is very, very important for the progression of these nodes. So when you're able to, and if you can save her abilities, it's very, very important to do that, because of the fact that she can almost wipe out an entire wave when all the charges are built up. You should be left now with these final 3 characters here, and it should put you in a pretty good position to wrap things up. And generally with this one, it's kind of different from the other synergistic teams that we've had, which is they don't generate as much ability energy. So you do want to be using your basics and kind of building up the charges and making sure you're ready for the next node, because if you're not careful, and this is why I wouldn't recommend simming these nodes, especially given my current levels, it's highly recommended that you just manually play it, so that way you are controlling the ability energy, so that way we're in a better position when we start off the previous the next nodes that are upcoming here. So you can see there's black cats. It would have been nice to take her down earlier, but you can see now we're getting additional chances to build up energy because of her being harder to kill. Okay, next up, this is node 2, and in my honest opinion, guys, this is probably going to be the hardest node. I don't have all of the gameplay, but you'll see kind of how we got to the finish line here. So first things first, like I said, maybe I should have just saved some more energy, but we want to start things off with as much damage as possible in this first node. In this first wave, because of the fact that there's so many enemies that we're up against, and you want to clear them so that the enemies can come, right? So remember, the nice thing about Jean Grey is that even if she's blinded, she can actually use her special, so as long as she has the other members of her team. So we're gonna start things off with a bang with her ultimate. It can clear the wave. The barrier is nice, and obviously then we have a back-to-back now with Falcon's ultimate ability. So that's kind of really ideal. Having those 2 abilities back-to-back like that can clear almost the majority of these waves, and that's why it's nice when you have all the ability energy, because you can combo that together. And don't forget, we haven't used Storm's ultimate yet either, so that's going to be a big one to kind of save up. But that's also why I feel like maybe I did play this node incorrectly. We still need a turn for her, and like I said, if I didn't waste her her ultimate from the previous node, maybe I would have been in a better position here to clear this wave. But yeah, this This Bifrost team does have good synergies, and it's looking good right now, but you'll see we're going to get wiped pretty quickly here because of the burst damage that comes from some of these notable characters. But yeah, so far, it still seems possible. Again, if you have a full Gear Tier 19 team, it's definitely a different story. But in the meantime, these enemies, although they do seem like they have lower health pools, they hit like a truck. And the obvious issue that we have with this team is the fact that we're not getting ability energy, not enough of it to use our abilities and spamming it left and right. So it would have been preferred if we can take down that Teen Loki and Beta Ray from the first wave, but because we left them kind of hanging too long, now we have to focus on Big Time Spider-Man because he does a lot of damage, and that's great that we took him down. But then you still have some other notable characters like Castro, and then again that Bifrost energy where they get bonuses from raids. So you can see how quickly this can pivot, and any one of the 4 members of our team going down, it greatly cripples our chances of finishing the node. So node 2. I probably could have one-shot it, but this is probably more of a successful 2-shot that you can do each time. Back out and try again, because we do get additional energy anyways. So this would be a good time right now with these 4 enemies remaining to back out. For myself, I was still trying to see if I can do it with the 3 members. In this case, doesn't seem likely, but we do go ahead at least and use the ultimate there for some additional damage, finishing off another enemy. But you can see the retaliation is what gets my Jean Grey. So this is where I admitted defeat and I backed out. But yeah, 3 enemies, you can go back in and do the easy double tap. So that's kind of what I mean by I don't have all the gameplay. I wasn't able to capture the finishing, but just know that when I went back in, it was very, very easy to clean up. Okay, so this next though, we were able to set things up now with a huge Storm ultimate, and that's what I mean, guys. It's so pivotal and important that if you have her ultimate, it's such a great way to just burst down a wave, and now you can build up energy again because Beast grants energy. We got Falcon's turn meter, so really, if you're able to control their cooldowns, it's key. It's very, very key in sustaining the damage. And then this team does have some decent sustain, but like I said, I think having Hercules is going to complete the rest of it because you can get this done with the 4-piece. But I also suspect there's probably going to be changes coming when Hercules gets added, that the difficulty is going to get ramped up as well, because if you can do it with a 4-piece right now, it means that the 5-piece is likely going to be required and even more difficult than what we see right now. So turn meter, thankfully there's only 6 characters remaining, and again, always try to use Beast's ultimate when you can because of the buffs that he grants, energy, and we're just trying to take down whoever has weaker HP on their team. So again, what I really like is even when Jean Grey is blinded, it doesn't matter because of their special and their telekinesis. She can just hit whoever, right? So it's kind of a nice little workaround between any kind of condition she gets, so as long as she's not stunned, of course. But yeah, now the final 3 enemies remaining, pretty straightforward. We're gonna just keep some cooldowns here for our next wave, in this case the last and final boss node. But yeah, overall, when you're able to kind of coast and use the abilities to clear out the waves, it's actually really, really manageable. It is that node 2 that was kind of a struggle in terms of me managing it a little better, but you can see overall then it becomes smooth sailing. And now we are going to wrap things up here with the final boss node. And hopefully when you guys have been watching this, you can see kind of a pattern that I've been alluding to, right? You're building up charges, you're building up the ultimate. You know, every one of these characters hit like a truck in terms of what we expect. So it's kind of nice. You know, the big ult there from Jean Grey to activate the bleeds and the strip down. But I would focus on the Black Knight in the beginning here. That way just take him away in terms of what he can bring. I love Beast, his cleanse. He seems like he gets his like special so often that, you know, the team's constantly getting that heal. And what's really nice is he has that little bit of AoE damage as well. Now, what's interesting here is in this next wave, do shut down the Ares, right? So it's nice that we were able to time that stun quite well. And now we're just cleaning up the enemies around him. But yeah, Ares could be an issue later on, but thankfully we slowed him down. He doesn't have the war bonuses, but still statistically a very powerful character when we're up against them with a weaker team. In this case, our Jean Grey having only 3 stars. So now there's going to be a Quicksilver at the spawn in the next wave here. He's probably the main one you want to target, which is great timing for us because we have the handy ultimate from Falcon. Just always timely, and again, so as long as someone on your team is using an ult, some sort of burst, it's gonna be massive. So we have the back-to-back now with Storm, and that's what I mean. Just all these big ults that you have to time accordingly, and try not to waste it in any instance on a couple enemies. Always use it for these bigger groups. And now we have it back-to-back as well with Jean Grey. once again, the ability blocks, the bleeds. So it's really about just kind of timing and working it together, right? And then, like I said, this team has really good control in terms of generating additional turn meter for themselves. They have good sustain. It's more so just the synergy now and just getting used to the fact that we have to play this. You definitely can't sim it in terms of some of the mechanics. Maybe if you have them all here to 19, you can sim it. But in the meantime, anyways, like I said, the only one that's at that kind of level upgrade is Jean Grey, just because of her relevance and the fact that she's the most important, or if not the second most important, on this team next to Hercules. So just, yeah, do watch out for that. So down to 2 enemies here. We got Ares and Starbrand. Pretty easy finish here. But yeah, this is the last and final node here of the Uncanny Avengers requirement. So there you guys have it. Hopefully this is helpful. Hopefully you can see the upgrades here. But yeah, this seems to be close to the minimum. I have other alliance mates that have the full squad at level 95, but it just wasn't getting the job done. Our Jean Grey does fall, unfortunately, here, but 3 against 1 with Starbrand, who doesn't do a lot of damage. Easy finish. So there you guys have it. Hope this is helpful. Hopefully you guys can take advantage of this too in the meantime, and obviously work your way up in the coming weeks when Hercules is out, as well as the new Spotlight 2 raids. Thank you for your time as always, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.